Curtains are drawn against the neon light. I pull the heavy covers up to hide from the night. By day I'm a statue, polished and cold, with a story to find that's been carefully told. But the foundation trembles when the sun goes down, and the weight of your absence becomes my crown. I cry in the dark where the walls don't speak, where the bravest heart feels small and weak. No one to witness the flood in my eyes, no one to hear through my clever disguise. In the black of the room, the truth starts to spark. I'm still broken for you, and I cry in the dark. I've memorized the pattern of the shadows on the door, tracing the ghost of your feet on the floor. In the light I'm a warrior who won every fight, but I'm just a victim of the fading light. The salt on my pillow is a map of the pain, the only thing left of our faded name. If the lights came on, would you see the scars, or would you just see a girl reaching for the stars? It's a lonely theater, a one-woman show, performing a sorrow that I can't let go. I cry in the dark where the walls don't speak, where the bravest heart feels small and weak. No one to witness the flood in my eyes, no one to hear through my clever disguise. In the black of the room, the truth starts to spark. I'm still broken for you, and I cry in the dark. Wait for the dawn to dry every trace, to put the perfect back on my face. But until the first bird starts to sing, I'm just a shadow of a broken thing. Yeah, I cry in the dark, just me in the dark. I scrub the shadows off the kitchen floor, hoping you wouldn't see the mess I was anymore. I took the broken pieces of my hardest years and watched them clean in a bucket of my own tears. I thought if I was empty, there'd be room for us, but I just turned my heartbeat into dust. I gave you my pain like a wedding ring. I gave you the winter gave my pain to you. You were a bandage on a wound too deep to sew. I didn't realize I was letting the poison flow. Was a heavy stone. I piled them on your chest until you felt alone. Now the silence in this house is a shroud. I talked about my sadness until it got too loud. You weren't a doctor, you were just a man trying to love me the best that you can. But I made my misery the only song I play until the melody drove you away. I gave you my pain like a wedding ring. I gave you the winter and expected the spring. Oh, I handed you the thorns and asked you to hold on. Now the garden is dead and you're already gone. I thought sharing the hurt was the way to be true, but I didn't just love you, I gave my pain to you. Now I'm standing in the quiet, finally healed. But the price of the cure was the love that we sealed. I'm better now, but you're not here to see. I gave you my pain, and it cost me you and me. It cost me you and me. I looked in the mirror and saw a stranger's eyes, reflecting back 1,000 tiny compromises. I traded my colors just to fit your gray, until the parts of me I loved simply faded away. I was so busy keeping your fire bright that I didn't notice I was losing my own light. I built a monument to everything you need, while I let my own garden go to seed. I followed your footsteps until I went blind, and left the best parts of my soul behind. It wasn't just us that died on that shelf. In the middle of loving you, I lost myself. I silenced my voice to hear your song. convinced my heart that the hollow wasn't wrong. I rearranged the stars just to light your path. Now I'm standing in the cold, doing the bitter math of how many pieces I gave you for free, until there wasn't a shimmer of me left in me. Now I'm a hollow shell on a familiar shore. I don't even know what I'm fighting for anymore. I gave you the map, I gave you the keys, and I ended up begging on my bruised knees. I built a monument to everything you need, while I let my own garden grow to seed. I followed your footsteps until I went blind, and left the best parts of my soul behind. It wasn't just us that died on that shelf. In the middle of loving you, I lost myself. I'm picking up the fragments one by one, trying to remember how I was before we were done. It's a long walk back from the edge of your heart to the place where I finally get to start. I'm finding myself, but I had to lose you first. I saw the red flags waving in the wind, but I called them sunset streaks across the sky. I knew exactly where the story would end, but I didn't want to say the word goodbye. They told me you were lightning bound to strike, that you would leave a trail of ashes in your wake. I knew the storm was coming and what it looked like, but I chose the path I knew would surely break. I ignored the hollow echo in your chest. I traded in my peace for one more night. I put my heart through every single test, just to keep your fading image in my life. And I loved you anyway, through the lies and the cold. I loved you when the truth was too heavy to hold. I knew you couldn't stay, I knew you'd drift away, but I gave you every piece of me, every day. Even knowing how it hurts to be the one who stays. I loved you anyway. There's a comfort in the ruin you left behind. At least I know I felt something real for once. I wasn't looking for a love that was blind. I was looking for the sun through 1,000 months. So when you packed your bags and you cleared the shelf, and you didn't even look back at the door, I didn't hate you, I just hated myself for wishing I could give you even more. Was it worth the wreckage? Was it worth the fall? To have a moment where I felt like I had it all. People say I'm foolish, people say I'm weak, but there's a bravery in the words I didn't speak. I saw the end before we even started, but I stepped into the fire open-hearted, and I loved you anyway. Through the lies and the cold, I loved you when the truth was too heavy to hold. I knew you couldn't stay, I knew you drift away, but I gave you every piece of me, every day. Even knowing how it hurts to be the one who stayed, I loved you anyway. I asked for the heart that I gave to the flame. I'd still choose the scars just to whisper your name. Yeah, I knew you'd leave, I knew you'd go gray, but God, I loved you anyway. I loved you anyway. Always I found the note you tucked inside my pocket the day you finally packed and locked the door. It says you waited years for me to notice that I don't look at you the same way anymore. I stood there in the hallway, frozen solid, while the taxi pulled away into the rain. I had the words all lined up in my spirit, but I let them die like embers in the drain. I'm buying flowers for an empty hallway. I'm practicing the things I should have said, like how your laughter was my only anchor, and how I'm drowning in the silence of this bed. I thought that you'd be there just like the sunrise, a constant light I didn't have to chase. of my pride, with a lifetime of sorries all bottled inside. The porch light is flickering, the hours late. I loved you, I just loved you too late. So sorry, I'm late. I gave you the marrow, I gave you the bone. I carved out a kingdom from a heart made of stone. I poured every sunset I had in my chest into the hollows where you couldn't rest. I was the river that ran itself dry, trying to reflect all the blue in your sky. I didn't keep a drop for the walk back to me. I just wanted to be the whole world you could see. I watched the gauge hit the red then the black, giving you pieces I'd never get back. I didn't notice the weight of the air till I reached for a feeling and nothing was there. You know I loved you until I was empty. I gave you the few, and I gave you the plenty. I'm a well that's gone dusty, a lamp with no oil, a garden that's standing on soft shattered soil. There's no I hate you, and there's no I looking at the person standing in the hall, but I don't recognize the shadow on the wall. Your voice has got a winner that I've never known, a hollow kind of distance in your telephone. We're sitting at the table, just a foot apart, but there's a canyon opening inside your heart. You're still wearing the ring, you've still got the name, but the fire in your eyes doesn't feel the same. We go through the motions like a practice play, saying how was your work, and it was a long day. But I remember nights when the world would disappear, when your laughter was the only thing I'd ever hear. A stranger with a familiar face, living in the wreckage of this quiet place. It's a different kind of morning when they're still alive, when you're watching the ghost of a love survive. I'm reaching for the hand that used to hold me tight, but I'm just grabbing shadows in the middle of it. see that spark. Just one more second before it gets dark. I'm sitting right here, but I'm all alone. I miss who you were, the you that I know. I checked my phone to tell you something small, then remember you don't answer me at all. I saw a car that looked just like your own, and for a second I wasn't here alone. The seasons changed, the leaves fell to the dirt, but time is just a measurement of hurt. They say the new you is doing fine out there, while I'm still breathing in your ghost cold air. I've deleted your number, I've cleared out the shelf, I've told every lie I could tell to myself. But the truth is a shadow that follows me home, in every crowded room, in every place I roam. I miss the way you laughed before the joke was done. I miss the way we drive into the setting sun. But mostly I just miss the version of me, the one who was happy, the one who was free. It's been 1,000 years, it's been a week of kill. God, I miss you, I miss you still. The coffee shop has changed its name and sign, but I still see us standing in a line. I found a receipt in an old winter coat, a scrap of paper with a funny note you wrote. It's like a paper cut that never seems to close. The way the memory comes, the way the memory goes. I'm moving forward, or at least that's what I say, while I'm walking backward every single day. Is there a deadline for the way I feel? A point where the imaginary becomes the real? I'm tired of the strong, I'm tired of the brave. I'm just a lonely man standing at a grave of a love that didn't die. It just went away and left me with nothing but yesterday. I miss the way you laughed before the joke was done. I miss the way we drive I'm still buying groceries for two, picking up the coffee that you like but never brew. The silence in the hallway has a way of screaming out. I'm living in a floor plan built on shadows and on doubt. I tried to rearrange the room to hide the empty space, but every corner of this house still wears your ghost face. They say that time is healing, that the fading is a gift, but I'm drowning in a current that I cannot seem to shift. I wish I could forget the way you whispered in the dark, or how you left your fingerprints on every piece of my heart. Most people lose the details when the fire turns to touch, but I'm breaking down slowly, 'cause I remember too much. The 4th of August, 6 o'clock p.m. The shirt that you were wearing, the way you bit your lip when you were tired of just caring. I remember how the rain sounded on the roof of your old car, the night we swore we'd find a way no matter where we are. I've got a library of moments playing on a loop, and I'm the only one left standing in the wreckage of the group. Is there a way to unknow the scent of your skin, to unlearn the secrets I let you tuck in? I'm a map of a city that's been burned to the ground, tracing streets and the alleys where you're no longer found. I'm cursed with a vision that's a little too clear. I can still feel you leaning right They say that time is healing, that the fading is a gift, but I'm drowning in a current that I cannot seem to shift. I wish I could forget the way you whispered in the dark, or how you left your fingerprints on every piece of my heart. Most people lose the details when the fire turns to touch, but I'm breaking down slowly, 'cause I remember too much. I remember the promise, I remember the lie, I remember the exact way you didn't say goodbye. Yeah, I remember. I remember way too much. I put on the jacket, I fix up my hair, I walk through the world like I'm actually there. I laugh at the jokes and I pay all the moving like clockwork against my own will. They see the construction, the paint on the wall. They think that I'm standing, they think I didn't fall. But the foundation's hollow, the beams are all thin. I'm just a shell for the ghost that's within. The outside is polished, the windows are bright, but the power went out in the middle of the night. I'm a master of fine, I'm a scholar of okay, while I'm crumbling slowly, a little more each day. Because I stay broken inside, in the places where even the shadows can't hide. I mended the skin, but I couldn't mend the soul. I'm just a fragment that's mimicking the whole. The me that you knew, he walked out with you and left me this wreckage. I'm trying to pull through. The world sees a man who has finally survived, but I stay broken inside. I sit at the table where we used to talk. I go for the money